During the height of the VR craze, videos of haptic suits got a lot of attention, and it's easy to see why. Feeling virtual touch, or even pain, is a concept straight from science fiction, yet I've always been a little bit skeptical. Is having a haptic vest really that exciting? Or are content creators just trying to hype up the video? I have nothing against people wanting to make funny videos. It's part of the job after all. But I do think it's time we cut through the noise and see what kind of experience a haptic vest really has to offer. Personally, I wouldn't describe the experience as touch or pain, but in the right scenario, the vibration can enhance your immersion. So this is the Tsuit X40, which was sent to me by bHaptics for review. It features 40 motors, which individually spin around weights to create a vibrational force. It's kind of like you'd see inside of a game controller. Here, the effect is scaled up and multiplied to cover your entire front and back. Each motor can be individually controlled by the software, and the faster the motor spins, the more powerful the vibration will be. On max settings, the vibration does get quite intense. You will feel the rumble. While the vest may look a bit unwieldy due to its tactical appearance, it's actually surprisingly simple and easy to wear. Slipping this thing on takes less time than a set of full-body trackers. There's even adjustment straps and a spare detachable liner for cleaning. It looks like there's some new models in the works too, one with 32 motors and the other with 16. It'll be curious how those compare. Now it is a bit of extra weight, about 3.7 pounds. I didn't really mind this until after I took off the vest during a long play session. Quite literally, a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Not a big deal, but something to be aware of. What is a big deal is software and game support, where bHaptics seems to be doing pretty good for what is ultimately a niche VR accessory. It supports Quest, PC VR, and even PSVR 2. The game support can be varied though. There are native games with the haptics built in, and then there are some games that require additional work, like mods or extra software. There's a lot of variation in how a game can choose to use the haptics. This can range from a simple rumble when someone touches you in VR chat, or something as strange as a healing spell causing a wave of vibration through your body. Thankfully, bHaptics has a site that lists all their game integrations, and as always, only download community software from sources you trust. Now, I did agree to one request of bHaptics for this review, to try out their new support for VR chat on Quest. There's not a lot of information on this on YouTube, so why not? Now, if you're anything like me, your first reaction might be,
wait a minute, why would anyone spend $500 on a haptic vest when they don't already have a gaming PC?
And as a PC VR player, I'm inclined to agree. Still, if you're primarily a Quest gamer for convenience, exclusives, or other reasons, working in VR chat is a nice addition for those players. Don't worry, I'll also cover the PC VR experience because there's some interesting differences. So let's go ahead and set things up. On Quest, you'll need to pair the vest directly to your headset, just like you would a Bluetooth game controller. Then you can get the bHaptics player from the Quest store. This is probably the first time you're going to get a feel for the vest, and it's a great demo of its capabilities. For native games, once you have this working, you should be all set. But as some of you already know, things don't really work like that in VR chat, do they? And modding VR chat? What is this, 2020? You're gonna get banned. Thankfully, we can instead use something called OSC to communicate between the vest and VR chat. I like to enable this checkbox so it runs every time my Quest starts. Don't worry if you're unfamiliar with OSC, although I do have a video that explains if you're curious. On PC, the process is pretty similar. You install the bHaptics player and then pair it to your vest with Bluetooth. There's a dongle included, which is pretty handy if you need it. I found that unlike full body tracking, Bluetooth works fine for connecting here. Although on PC, the OSC application is a separate program, so you'll need to download and start that as well. Now that the OSC connection is up and running, you'll still need to take care of the VR chat side of things. This includes enabling OSC in-game. Okay, bear with me now, we're getting really close, but there's one more thing to take care of. You'll also need to put these special contacts on your avatar in order for the game to activate your vest. On PC, you're able to test things out in the bHaptics demo world, where there's already avatars built for bHaptics. However, this world hasn't been updated for Quest, and PC VR bHaptics avatars will not work with the Quest version, and the setup for bHaptics on Quest is different than PC. So, I had to create my own. The trickiest part was making sure I had the right version of everything, especially due to the Unity 2022 update. But once that was settled, adding the vest to my avatar was pretty easy. I got sent a new guide by bHaptics, so I'll link it down below. Just be sure you select the right version of the device for the platform. This is where some of the interesting differences between Quest and PC come into play. You see, a typical bHaptics avatar has about 80 contacts on it for animating the vest and activating the motors. At the time of writing, Quest VR chat avatars are limited to 16 contact receivers. I saw a recent post about some changes in the VR chat beta talking about performance and contacts, but I don't know if they'll actually raise the max. You do have less hitboxes on Quest, meaning they're going to be a bit bigger and a little less detailed. They aren't animated on Quest either. However, they do have similar functionality. When the collider is touched, the vest reacts. So yeah, making avatars can be a bit of a pain, and I do wish there was a way to do it that was independent of the avatar you were wearing. Also, this whole thing only really works with avatars. With that being said, let's finally get into the experience of actually using a haptic vest. First off, those videos where someone goes into a lobby wearing this and suddenly gets a lot of attention, yeah, these are still attention magnets. Haptic vests are pretty uncommon among players, and people will probably want to mess with your vest, no matter what platform you're on. It can be really surprising when someone sneaks up behind you and pats you on the back. Really, any trigger where there's no visual indication kinda gives you an extra sense. I will say that the VR chat implementation is better for quick bursts of contact, rather than extended periods of being held, because it just keeps vibrating and won't stop. Yeah, something like that. One thing I haven't seen anyone talk about is using the audio haptics for virtual clubbing. It's actually pretty cool to feel the beat of the music. The feature is only a toggle away on PC, although you'll need headphones and an aux splitter for Quest standalone. So who exactly is this device for then? First, if you're a varied VR gamer, you're probably going to get way more use out of the vest. Action-oriented VR experiences can have more reactive events for a wider variety of scenarios. While it may be humorous to crank things up to the max settings, I found myself enjoying the subtle effects a lot more. The best way I can describe it is when the haptic feedback really tells you something through the effect it provides. However, if you're just getting this for VR chat, it is a pretty expensive purchase for a very specific use case. Now, there are some people who really enjoy the feedback and connection they get out of the vest. And while it may not be a perfect simulation, it's something more than being a ghost. Thank you for watching, and special thanks to all my Ko-Fi members for your contributions.